Everybody, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I want to talk about how you can find your perfect heel height. This is going to be different for everybody, and it's information you can use to find shoes that will be really comfortable for you to wear and ultimately the healthiest for your feet, so that you can fill your closet with shoes that you can love for many years to come. So let's get started. So to figure out your perfect heel height, there's a very quick formulation you can use. It takes 3 simple steps, and in my experience, it is very accurate. So the first thing you're going to want to do is measure the full length of your foot. You're going to want to get a really accurate measurement here with the full weight on your feet. So do this standing up and then on a blank piece of paper that you can easily mark. And you're going to measure your foot from the back of your heel to the very tip of your toe to get the full length, and take down that number specifically in centimeters. So the second step is to take that number and then divide it by 7. And doing that should give you your perfect heel height. Now it's important to note here that this is going to be different for everybody, like I mentioned. And then ultimately, the smaller your foot, the smaller the number, and the bigger your foot, the bigger the number. It's generally agreed upon that larger feet can wear taller heels. And then also, podiatrists and experts recommend not going above 4 centimeters for everyday wear. It's going to be much healthier for your feet to keep that number on the lower end. And so once you have that, you can then move on to the last step, and that is to experiment and see if it's actually accurate. Go into your closet and pull out the most comfortable shoes you own and see what that number looks like. Does it match up with those shoes? Is there definitely discrepancy here? Because ultimately you really do want to cater this to you. So a measurement can be really helpful to start pointing you in the right direction, but then try things on and use your actual feeling in your feet to determine how comfortable something is and choose the right shoes for you. Now let's say that you're not looking for a pair of everyday shoes, but rather something a little bit fancier, something that you'll wear for a special occasion and not for extended periods of time and not for extensive walking. So in that case, there is a separate equation you can use to figure out a heel height that will be comfortable for you for a couple hours. So to do that, this is going to differ for everybody, just like the first one, and there are again 3 simple steps. The first is to fully extend your foot so that your foot is relaxed. Specifically, you want to make sure that the talus bone is not tensed up at all. That's going to give you a really accurate representation here. And then from there, you can move on to the second step. Now, the second step is to measure the length from your heel to where the ball of your foot starts to bend, essentially right below where your joint bone is. And allegedly, bringing you to the third step, that will be your perfect heel height and something that will be comfortable for a couple hours. And it was accurate for me when I did it. And then again, from there, you can start experimenting and figure out what you actually love and then play around with inserts and everything, but that's for another discussion. Now I want to go over a couple other pointers you can keep in mind in order to find shoes and shoes that are going to be really comfortable. So when it comes to the overall fit, the most important place for a shoe to fit is in the heel and up to the joint of your foot. That's going to ensure that things are nice and snug and ultimately comfortable. If you fit the widest point of your foot, then chances are everything else can fall into place nicely. And then also, my mom taught me to always buy shoes at the end of the day when your feet are going to be the biggest and the most swollen. So it's really helpful to avoid that dreaded feeling where you buy a pair of shoes in the morning and then you go to put them on and by the end of the day they're horrible. They're way too tight. So definitely do that. And then another point that I have is that if you are going to be wearing shoes in the summer and you live somewhere that's really, really hot and really humid, it can be helpful to go up a half a size and make sure that you have enough room for your feet to expand. Because my feet are always smaller in the cold and a lot bigger in the heat. So definitely keep that in mind. It's been really helpful for me living somewhere hot now. Also, I personally have really high arches coupled with the fact that I have small feet, and that makes a lot of heels very uncomfortable because they don't have adequate support underneath the arch. So instead, I find flats or small heels to be much more comfortable for me. So you may find yourself in a similar situation. And then also when it comes to comfort, and certainly when I'm gonna wear something for a long period of time, I find a block heel much more comfortable than something like a stiletto or really, really thin. I find that the weight of my foot is more evenly distributed and it's just more comfortable. So definitely something to keep in mind. And there you have it. That is how you can figure out your perfect heel height and ultimately find a pair of shoes that will be comfortable for you to wear. I think comfort is so important for everything in your wardrobe, but when it comes to shoes, I think it's the most important thing. So finding shoes that are not only cute but also comfortable will make sure that you can enjoy them for a long time. So I hope that you liked this, and like always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Have a great day.